Hello, once again, it's Dr. Evans.
I'm Count von Sackman.
What's going on? You started wearing makeup and piercings and listening to My Chemical Romance?
This is my lay nu. I am yin of the barns of the nicht nu.
Well, it's only a phase.
How far dare ye question my commitment?
Are you going to help me talk to the folks about logic and arguments count?
Agelus, I can help ye.
Well, logic and writing can act as a guide to designing and laying out your paragraphs to make coherent arguments that are designed to support a thesis. That doesn't mean that emotion must be fully removed from an argument or that there isn't room for appeals to values. But by forming several premises, you can lead an argument to its logical conclusion. This will make a stronger paper.
So what do you mean by premise? The state where I work each day?
No, wrong type of premises. The premise is a logical statement upon which we build our argument. While it doesn't need to be universally agreed upon premise, the more people that agree on premise, the more likely your argument will be logical and convincing to your audience. By linking several premises together, you can form an appropriate conclusion that forms a syllogism.
So, how far do they work? Give me an example.
One, people often experience embarrassment when expressing controversial opinions or saying shocking or crude things. Premise two, puppets cannot feel embarrassment. Conclusion, puppets can be a way to express controversial opinions or say shocking things without feeling shame.
I knew Robert Smigel, and ye sure knew Robert Smigel.
I'm only giving an example, man. I'm writing each premise. In writing, each premise can make up its own separate paragraph. Then we should lay out the premise clearly, support that premise with evidence in each paragraph so that this will eventually lead to the logical conclusion. If you start from a good premise, you will have a strong argument even if you fail to convince the reader.
So does this work all of the time?
No, in fact, logic is filled with plenty of pitfalls and logical fallacies that will weaken your argument while filling you with undue confidence. An argument only works when both parties can agree on the same premise. So you try one, Count von Sackman.
All Scotsmen wear kilts. Ye aren't sporting a kilt. Thus, ye cannot be a Scotsman.
Well, but if I can prove my heritage, your argument thus becomes invalid.
Ah, but no true Scotsman would fail to wear a kilt.
You've already fallen into a fallacy there, Count. The appeal to purity, also known as the no true Scotsman fallacy. Rather than rethinking your first premise, you just modified it to exclude the unwanted counter argument. So let's try again, but this time we'll agree with your initial premise that you came up with.
Ah, Scotsmen wear kilts. A good mucker, Bill O'Flaherty, wears a kilt. Sa, he must
Conclusion.
be a Scotsman.
So you've already fallen into another pitfall. Even if your first statement is true, you have been misled by what has been ignored in that statement. The Irish wear kilts as well as many Americans. The kilt has had its fair share in popularity here, regardless of the heritage of the wearer. Even if you said Most people who wear kilts are Scotsmen. Your conclusion wouldn't hold, as a non-decisive premise cannot result in a decisive conclusion. At best you could say is that that he's likely to be a Scotsman, not he is. You keep running into these fallacies, Count.
If you keep refuting my argument, next thing you'll be taking the kilt off my arse.
And that slippery slope, you take a solid premise and you leap to an unlikely conclusion, bypassing any number of unlikely intervening steps.
You're only doing this to me for you're a manky git.
Hasty generalization topped with an ad hominem. You've made a conclusion based on incomplete data. And then you've gone and attacked my character rather than attacking my argument here.
Barring logical argument is no fun, for 'twas invented by the Greeks.
So now you've combined the genetic fallacy with begging the claim. You've tried to discount an idea just because of its source, and then you've tried to make a conclusion that is proven within your starting premise. You can't say that something is boring and then in the same premise say it is not fun.
I must be arguing just raw for the viewers like my best. Anyway, how come should we learn about all this when there's all that truckle going on overseas?
Now you're heading into the ad populum, or also known as the bandwagon appeal. And then you're finishing it with a red herring. An argument isn't always correct just because it's popular. The red herring then is just a distraction from the point. The point is, we are trying to be teaching these students about logic and arguments.
You want an argument? I will give ye an argument. My opponent here is picking on me for he hates Scotsmen. Since he once failed a student, he is no better than Hitler. Your choice is plain. Had this teacher lifted from his job, or he'll fail ye all.
Straw man, moral equivalence, and an either-or fallacy.
You only started doing this to me when I put on this get-up.
Post hoc ergo propter hoc fallacy. It's a false if-then statement. Correlation doesn't equal causation.
Boom! Not again. I give up. I'm knackered.
Well, I guess that's all for now. As usual, check the description. Bye for now. Say bye, Robert.
Feck off.
He doesn't mean it, folks. He just needs a nap.
Feck.